Welcome back to the Toy Shop. I haven't done an episode of this series for a while now because, frankly, I've been too busy to film a toy store story. And admittedly, there's not a whole lot that I can tell, so I try to reserve them. Actually, today I actually wanted to talk about the other side of the toy store life, which is all the backstage stuff. And really, because the idea behind this series was let's talk a little bit of the weird stuff that happens at the toy store, but also let's give insight as to what it's like to actually run a toy shop. And right now has been a really, really busy week. We had Black Friday, we roll right into Christmas. All of this has to be reset for the new year. We got brand new furniture in, there's shelves being built in the back. It's been an extremely hectic time for the store, which is why a lot of my videos haven't been hitting that 2 p.m. afternoon spot that I really like to hit. But that was going to be the topic, but let's face it, it's a boring topic. So let's talk about the topic everyone hears way too much about, Pokemon cards. Because, hey, look, Pokemon is still a thing, regardless of what size they are. So I was going to tell you all about how the vintage side of Pokemon works, because it's for a store like this, it's a scary kind of market because it's such an expensive product. It's so rare to find, and when you find it, you gotta hope that you've got someone around that's going to be willing to pay the price to make that money back and actually run a profit off of it. And you let that opportunity go, and that's kind of how any expensive collectible goes. It's a huge investment. It's a huge piece of capital to have tied up into one little pack of cards. So if it doesn't sell, okay, it's a little bit of trouble. And the market is so volatile. So, like, I won't show you the price we have on it, but there is a vintage Gym Hero pack. We've had 6 of these in the shop. 3 have currently sold, so we got 3 more of these. Now, when we talk about things like this, you look at what they sell for, and the price goes all over the place. I've seen them as low as like 130 bucks. I have seen them as high as 230 bucks. It's all over the board what the demand actually is at that time. So, when it's, things like that, we kind of had to put in the middle and hope for the best. And it's weird because a lot of these are purchased as investments. So they're not opening them. They're not hoping to find a Charizard out of a 23-year-old pack of cards because, frankly, it's more valuable sealed than it is opened. There's extraordinarily low chance you're actually going to pull something that's more valuable than what you spent on the pack. So keep the pack sealed, wait 20 years, and then when it's worth $500, then you turn your profit. You know, Collectibles are kind of like a wine industry in that you have to let your product mature before it's really valuable. And the Pokemon is the exact same way. We've had packs in here that were like 375 bucks because they were first edition. That's the thing. People paid it. We don't have them anymore. They view it as an investment. And the weird thing to me is, like, Brock here is not the valuable one. Out of Gym Heroes, it's Misty. People will pay more because the only character they're going to see is what's on the packaging itself. They want to buy their character, and it's always going to be the most popular character that's the highest demand, the highest value. And in Gym Hero, it's Misty. Of course, it's Misty. Beyond that, we there's I love having the opportunity to get it just because my nostalgia lies there, because I feel like it's a good investment. I mean, it's never something that's going to lose value. But it does bring up a lot of unfortunate circumstances. We had someone in today who they're going through their attic, and they've got just piles and piles of boxes of stuff, and as they're going through it, they find old Pokemon packs. When I say old, I mean they had 4 packs of base set 2. They had 2 original packs, like 1999 base set, and they had 2 fossil first edition packs. Okay, so second expansion, first edition packs. They wanted us to know if they got any good cards out of them because they let their grandkids open them. Sometimes I hate being as knowledgeable as I am about these things, because it wouldn't have hurt so much otherwise. So I hate being the one to break bad news to the customers. I think the worst part of my job is having to tell people that what they think is super crazy valuable is actually next to worthless. I've had people come in with Funko Pops they swear are $400 and they ring up $20 because they were looking at the wrong version. I have had people coming in here with, you know, just I've had people coming in here with things that turned out to be counterfeit, and they thought it was like a super rare card. I'm sorry, you don't have what you think you have. These are people looking thinking they got super lucky, and they finally they're gonna get a little bit rich off of this, and here I am. I'm in the position they have to go, no, no. Case in point, I had to tell these people that the best card they had was a first edition Hollow Lapras, which on eBay is currently selling for about $8 unless you get it graded. And because the kids open these packs, the condition it was in was not going to grade high enough to really make that grading investment worth it. Maybe. On a slab, a first edition Lapras can go for 300, but this one had some chips on the edges on the backside of the card, especially. You're looking at maybe an 8 at best, at which time you're going down to like 150, maybe 200. So at that point, your investment in getting it graded might not be worth it. If it just to run the risk of it might come back lower than that. Yeah. So like I hate having to break that news to them. Same couple, they did bring us something that was sealed. These vintage theme decks, which I hadn't seen these in a long time. I had these when they first came out. Of course, everyone bought the original theme deck. So this was actually a 2-player starter set. You actually got a 30-card fighting deck and a 30-card fire deck. The two decks are evenly matched. One is not weak to the other. It is basically just a way to simply play the game right away. And then you could put them together to get a full 60-card theme deck. And that's how they did it later on. Jungle and Fossil both had multiple theme decks, including this one. This is the Lockdown theme deck in Fire and Water type. 60 cards, 1 coin, and 10 damage counters and 1 rule book. The damage counters now are dice. They have to roll over to show the individual damage that's been done to the Pokemon. Back then, it was little glass tokens because the HP levels were so low back then, you could actually keep track of them with just little stones that you put on top of the card. And I kind of prefer the stones to the dice. There's just something a little bit more mystic about it, I guess. But yeah, these were like super cool. I wasn't going to let her leave without making her an offer on this. And this is the one of contention. Because the original theme deck, of course, is super common back then. They ran this thing for years. But the thing about it was there's a variation. When they came in, when I first heard that they were coming in, they said they were sitting on something that they thought might be worth $5,000. They've seen them go online for, $1,200, $1,500. And they're talking about this deck. The problem is, now it's never going to pick up on my webcam. It's not. Okay, a little bit. So look at the K, between the K and the E there. You'll see that very thin line, that little thin. There is a plastic cord that you pull in order to open up the cellophane. Like you would on like a pack of playing cards. And similar to a pack of playing cards, those would usually have a gold ring, like a gold strip that you peeled to open up the cellophane. The original run of these did, and those would have been very first run Pokemon cards, so they would have been shadowless. So that is the valuable one. That one can go $1,500 at its, and I've seen higher. I've seen people asking $2,000 for those decks. This is just a common release, so I have to tell her that her potential $2,000 item is actually only worth about $150. And I can't, as a store that has to make money off of what we take in, I can't even give her $150 for it. And this is an older couple. They can't do eBay. That's beyond them. Places like this is their only option. So, it's not that we want to take advantage of them, but we got to turn a profit too. And, we give them as much as we can and still do that. But in this case, I hated bringing it to them because they came in, because they know we have to make a profit. They're expecting it, to not sell at a full price. Everyone who comes in and gives us product does. The difference here is they honestly thought they were going to walk out with like $800. And I can't do that because it's the wrong version. I hate having to tell somebody that they lost that, because they never had it. They never had that much money, but in their head they did. In their head they see something like that and go, what can I, I'm going to have this much money. Like, what can I get? So in their head, they've lost $1,500. I hate that. That's the rough part about the job. So sometimes there's a double-edged sword to this because, I love getting it in and someone is going to be thrilled to find these. This is going to trigger someone's nostalgia hard. But there's always that person on the other side who was really hoping that what they had was going to be a lot bigger than it was. And that's unfortunately the news I have to break sometimes. Yeah, like, God, I'm still thinking about it. I wish I had taken photos of the open packs just to post on the Pokemon TCG Reddit and share in the tiers, because I wanted to go in the back and cry because there's such a rush of nostalgia for me, like taking these cards out of the wrapper and going through them like I did as a kid. And they had a hollow Venusaur. They had a hollow Raichu. Ironically enough, the hollow Raichu was like the last card I couldn't find for my original base set, because as a kid I completed the base set. Today I sold off that set when no one cared about the game. I only got like $500 for it, and it's like a $4,000 collection now, and I will never be able to afford to get it back. But back then, ironically, Raichu was the one that was hardest for me to get, and today it just walked right into my store. Like I could have shown her what hollow Raichu goes for these days, and just like given her $15 for it, and she would have walked out happy. Weird how that works sometimes. But that's what I got for you today. Short little Toy Story video. But yeah, there's some heartache that comes with working here. It's not all fun and games. Even though toys are about fun and we literally sell, games. There's the business side of it. There is the furniture and the rearranging and the construction and all the necessities in order to make the shop grow and expand and become better. And then there is the heartache of breaking it to people that you're not holding the next, you're not holding the next Black Lotus. No, I'm sorry. So that's the bummer of this job. But that, my friends, is the toy store life. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.